Hello everyone, welcome back to another vlogging session with me, and I've got a confession. I didn't vlog last Friday, and there is a very valid reason behind that, but I'm not quite ready to share it yet. It's a very exciting reason, and when the time is right, it will definitely be shared with all you lovely, beautiful people out there that are following my journey. But for now, I'm sorry, not possible. Yeah, so 2 weeks on, a lot has happened in 2 weeks. Unfortunately, the a lot bit is something that I can't share at the moment. But yeah, it's been, besides that, it's been a couple of weeks of, I think what I've definitely tried or had the intention to do more of in the last couple of weeks is really listen to how I feel. And an example of that is not doing something because it makes sense or it was in the diary. Just really honouring my own kind of energy. How am I feeling? Do I want to do blah? And actually like questioning it, and then sometimes actually turning things down. So yeah, that's been going on for the last couple of weeks. And I've also felt this like tremendous urge to be a lot more creative. I don't know whether it's Christmas, and like a couple of years ago I did I created my own Christmas cards for my family members, and I also was at that time practicing calligraphy. And I don't know whether it's because of this time of the year where Christmas is coming around and thoughts turn to what we want to do for other people, whether it's that or actually, oh, I find that if you can see the greyness behind me, the weather and things kind of closing in. I think I talked about that in one of my vlogs recently. I find this time of the year is more for creativity and more kind of playing around, and yeah, not so much of the outward, the what's going on in my external environment, but more what do I want, what does Jaspreet really want to do right now. And on that theme of creativity and turning more inward, I thought I would also share some project pieces that I had a go at and I'm still doing as part of what has been my creative flow. Like, what is it that I've enjoyed doing in my creative endeavors, you know, like what's taken my fancy, because maybe if I say this is kind of what I've been up to, something might spark in you. So, and before I do share that, I think what I want to say around the creativity piece is that we all have something within us that it desires to be creative. And what I'm about to share, and when I think most people think of the word creative and creativity, they do think along the lines of what I'm going to talk about. But what I want to say to that is being creative is creative in itself. You know, a lot of this is what people think looks creative, but actually it doesn't have to be the typical. It can be whatever we want it to be. It could just be a blank piece of paper and a load of scribbles with pencils. And if that is what feels good for you, you know, when you're enabling yourself that creative juice to flow out of you, then that's all that matters here. We're not looking to be perfectionists in this. At least I'm not looking to be a perfectionist in this, because this is about me just allowing that part of me that wants to do these kind of things but sometimes holds back because of that perfectionist piece. Sometimes makes excuses that I don't have time to do these little creative projects. But when I know that I pursue them and do them, what I notice is that I feel different afterwards in a good way. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about what creative can mean, and it can mean absolutely anything you want it to be. So don't feel restricted in any means. So yeah, I think one of the things that I wanted to share today. So when I decided to leave my career behind and start exploring who it is that I am as a person, what brings me a lot of kind of tingliness inside, good feelings, good vibes, joy. Some of the things that I stumbled across, and I haven't actually got it to hand, that project, so I don't think I have a copy of it anymore, is calligraphy. So when I was working with the coach about 2 years ago, it was a thought that she left me with in one of our sessions as to what would I want to do? How do I want to spend my time? Because I stopped working, so I didn't have 37.5 hours or more to fill in the week anymore with work. I didn't have the commute, and I live in London, so I didn't have the tube to get onto to spend. Door to door, it used to take me about an hour and 15 sometimes. But let's say an hour, so 2 hours a day I used to spend on the tube. So, you know, that's a lot of time. I'm not going to do the maths, but that's a lot of time. And I got all that time back. So I started thinking about what kind of creative things I could find myself doing. Not from a doing it to be distracted, but doing it because a part of me, because at that time it was the perfectionist, I'm not going to lie, but part of me also got something out of it, like it resourced me in some kind of way. So calligraphy is one of the first things that came up. It was just a post that I saw on my Facebook feed. And you know, when you watch, I don't know if anyone has watched them, and it's not just calligraphy, you get this with other posts where they're showing you the process of whatever it is that they're doing, and it's just like you're watching it, you're like, oh, this feels really good. Like the satisfaction that I'm getting just watching them do their creative thing and see it from beginning to end. Yeah, like I've noticed people say this in their posts when they're commenting underneath. It's like, yeah, that felt so good to watch, and that was just so satisfying. So that's where it started for me in terms of calligraphy, and then I just went off to like one of those like sessions when we used to be, this is obviously pre-COVID, when we could go along to a workshop and learn from other people. And then I think that was around November time, I'm going to say, because then when December came around, I was like, I really want to use that somehow. And in the end, I decided to write personalised Christmas cards for close ones, loved ones, and practice my calligraphy, but also just let myself go. I remember thinking that at the time, like just letting myself just be. Not feeling the pressure to achieve something, not feeling like, like because the comparator I have is work, like feeling like I need to do X, Y, and Z. I'm doing it for someone else as well. I need to get it all kind of relatively perfect. And then in terms of how my body used to feel as well, quite tense. Like I used to get really tense shoulders. Like they used to be kind of like up here probably. My head used to feel quite tense and yeah, like this kind of strain, this pressure to create that output and get it to where it needs to go next, and all these different levels that are involved with that kind of work. Quite heady work, that's the other thing I would say. Quite, in the head, mind work. And then I sat myself down to make these cards, and it just didn't feel anything like that. It just felt, I think I put some music on. I remember I have a photo of this, which I have a feeling is going to be shared as part of this post. I think I had a candle on. I definitely had all my bits, like the work, sprawled out in front of me. And, just practicing on my own. What message do I want to write in the card? And then practicing the writing of the message, because it's obviously like special pens, etc. And there's a technique to calligraphy. I'm no expert, by the way. And yeah, like definitely, I don't remember feeling pressure in my head, but I'm not gonna lie, there was a part of me that wanted to get it perfect. And yeah, like not feeling like I'm doing it for anyone else. Like initially I thought, what a lovely thing to do for other people, and obviously that is the case, but I got something out of it. That's the difference, I think, with the other kind of work that I'm talking about and the creative work. There is something about, like, even, with the other professional kind of work, you do get something out of it, but it's not the same as the creative work. The creative, it feels a lot more, at least from a body perspective, I found it a lot more, it's kind of like flowing through me, not so much just in the head, but actually all parts of me contributing to this piece of work. And I think work doesn't feel like work. It just feels like fun. And then like maybe the inner child being able to get out her crayons and just be let loose. So that's kind of where things started from my creative journey perspective. And then I think around about the same time, I decided to also start a knitting project. So I took myself down to get some yarn, some wool, and didn't know what I wanted to do, but just bought like a bundle of it. And I think I went to see my mum soon after that. And then she helped me decide that it was going to be whatever, the wool I had. It was going to be a jumper for myself. So I was like, that sounds all right, I get something out of it, kind of cool. So I started knitting, and I'm going to try and demonstrate this, as in at least show you what it looks like now. I started knitting this, and this has been going on since, so it would have been 2018, December. End of December, just to help me out a little bit there. So it's not quite a jumper, and there is another set of needles that look similar to this, a little bit smaller. So this is supposed to be, I think, the front, and maybe the other lot is supposed to be the back, and then at some point I'm going to join it together. But I guess the point to this, for me showing this, is that this is work in progress. This isn't about like you know, doing something to finish it off and feel all proud like I've got it done. And obviously I'd like this to happen, but I think for me it's not so much the end product, it's actually what I get out of it when I'm doing it. I'm just, you know, enjoying the actual process. And yeah, it feels good just to be creating without too much thinking at the moment, because I think it's going to get a bit complicated. But yeah, like just letting myself have that space. I feel like it provides some kind of spaciousness that I don't get from the heady kind of work. So definitely coming from more of a being place. And as part of my knitting journey, what happened was I decided to join, is it Age Concern, I think. Don't quote me on it, but that's the kind of focus around the charity. They knit hats, small hats, and they provide them to Innocent, as in the smoothies drinks company, because at a certain time of the year, Innocent put those hats onto their bottles. So they donate money back to the charity from the sale of that particular batch of drinks in the year. So I joined that charity and did some knitting. I have a little confession. I didn't actually pass the hats on for you know, the contribution that they're going to get from the company, because for me this was a feat. This was like, I've actually, you know, managed to create these things. So here's my little hats, if I can hold them up. Not many. I haven't denied the charity of too many, but yeah, so my little hats that I knitted with a lot of love and support from the ladies at the time. I think I did this one first. I'm probably the most proud of this one. And then I think I did that one second. Actually, no, that one second. And then that one third. So it's starting to get a bit more complicated. And if you can't tell, it's a strawberry. And then I haven't, can you believe this? This is an unfinished person. It's a person's head. This is me trying to get the eyes and the nose and the mouth sorted out, probably. So that's been there, or in the little bag with the knitting project, for about I joined them, and I think I joined them for about 6-ish months, I want to say. Yeah, so that's been going on since then. And maybe when I do finish that little human head, I will send these off so that they can actually help the charity. Yeah, so I just wanted to share like how these are the kind of things that I used to choose to do when I gave up work and when things felt very confusing and I didn't know what direction I'm going in. I still don't necessarily know what direction I'm going in, but I wanted to bring these little projects out just to show like what it was that got me through those times. And I think one of the biggest parts of that experience that I had, particularly with these little hats, was that I turned up to a group of older women that I didn't know very well, and without them realising, they became like my support network, my little community, something to belong to. Because if you don't have that, I mean, you definitely lose that when you decide to not work anymore. And in my case, I don't have people that I hang out with more locally. That's what that group gave me. It gave me a place to hang out in, to belong, and also to experiment and try out different new things. And if someone said to me, you're going to do this in 6 months' time, before I left my job, I'd have been like, no, I'm not any good at knitting. So it kind of proved to me that this is possible. It's just about creating that space and just going with it, trusting the flow of whatever journey's unfolding. And yeah, I mean, sometimes I used to turn up and be like, what am I doing here? They're all older women. I don't belong. But they were really lovely, caring individuals and characters as well that used to make me chuckle. So I carried on going and, just trusted that feeling rather than probably like the mind telling me that I don't belong here. So yeah, I thought I'd just give a little share on this aspect of my journey, because you might be going through something similar, or someone that is, and maybe it will help them or yourself, uncover this creative being that you are. And like I said, not in the conventional way. It can be anything you want it to be. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that share, and if you have, give it a lovely thumbs up, and obviously leave me comments or questions if you want to, and catch you for another session hopefully next week. I'm not planning to not vlog, but who knows. And then there's the whole kind of, what are we going to do over Christmas? Will we mingle or won't we? Will I be here vlogging, or will I be somewhere else? Bye, see you soon.